Hello everyone, this is Nimish and today we're going to do the movie review of the Malayalam film Premam starring Nivin Pauly, Sai Pallavi and a bunch of other actors. This movie was fantastic. I was completely mind blown by this movie, amazed as to how awesomely the director has put this together and made such a brilliant piece of cinema, which is so simple yet so complex in its processing or filmmaking. So let's get right to the analysis of the movie. Let's begin with the acting. Nivin Pauly, this is my first movie of Nivin Pauly and I am amazed by him. I have just become a huge fan because his acting was phenomenal. The range that he showed in this movie, right from the first story as a young boy with a lot of innocence in his approach to life, to the last stage where he's playing a mature man who's running his own business and wants to settle down, and the second story, which is a transition where he is the typical youngster full of fire, energy, bad boy kind of a guy, is outstanding. The range where he it was never a one tone movie. So the range that he depicted in this movie with the ups and downs and all the emotions so perfectly, so naturally is just brilliant. The second person I would like to speak about is Sai Pallavi. She is a natural actress. I have seen her in Kali, which I will also be reviewing very soon, so please subscribe. I have watched her in Kali. This is my second film, and she is a very natural actress. Very simple in her approach to her performances, which is great. It's like she likes to keep it real, and that's what's amazing. One thing that I got super amazed by was when she started dancing. I was just like those guys who, just like Nivin Pauly and his friends, who were all like, "What the hell? When did she learn to dance like that?" I was felt the same way when she started dancing. So outstanding talent that girl is, so crazy. So I really like both these performances along with all the other supporting actors who played their parts perfectly. Movie is about friendship, life, realistic situations we encounter, the kind of people we meet, the kind of relations we make, and the kind of irony that life has every single time a situation comes up. What's most interesting about this movie to me is how the movie must have been written. Each and everything in this movie is nothing but a reality. There is no over dramatization or over exaggeration of real life situations, which is usually what emotional or dramatic movies are about. This is literally real. I know that the reason this movie became such a huge blockbuster is only because every single person in India could relate to what's happening in that movie, mostly the guys. So the first story is about young Nivin Pauly in his 10 plus 2 or 12th grade, and he has a crush on this girl and he tries to lure her, but he comes to know that she likes someone else and he ends up just becoming a friend. And that is amazingly reality how it works, how most guys must be experiencing their lives, and the innocence is captured in his performance. He is completely clean shaven, shown very young with a very neat haircut and everything, and the whole scenario is extremely funny. This first story is, I would say, funny because I was laughing a lot at each and everything. The writing is so detailed that even the smallest things and conversations that they have are extremely funny. The comedy of the situation is even more effective because it is reality. It is nothing like a fake situation or a slapstick situation. They are just conversing like how we would converse in our lives, and that's what makes it funny. That's what makes it extremely hilarious and believable, relatable. And that's why I feel this movie is extremely relatable in all its stories, because the audience is divided into younger generation, the college going or the youth, and the older generation, and I'm sure that all the audiences have something to relate to in this movie. For the younger generation, both boys and girls will be relating to how school crushes are, how boys go after girls, how the girls have to get rid of boys, how the girls' fathers are. Everything is relatable in the first story for the younger generation. The second generation, I'm sure most of us have seen such annual days. We have seen such colleges which are not the perfect colleges that we show in other movies. We have seen such fights or such rowdy kids. We have seen such teachers, such PE sirs, such canteens. We have seen such houses or such simple farmhouses or houses, nothing too fancy like the posh apartments they show in other movies. It's a simple thing. We have spent time with our friends like this, playing cards, going for sleepovers, etc. Everything is so basic and so real in the second story that the most part of the youth audience can relate to it. And I'm sure that the third one about the older generation, 30s or so on, is also relatable because there are people who run businesses. We spend time in our groups where some people are married, some are not, and you keep asking each other what to do with life, how to do it. And then there's a celebration, your business is running on one side, you meet friends from the older generation on the other side, you have reunions. All of this thing is very well shot. So it's just the writing is just outstanding. It is nothing but daily lives of a normal Indian guy and his friends, and even the girls aspect is taken into consideration, and how life progresses. And in this simplistic writing, the director has actually made all of us relate to one thing or the other because he has included almost everything that someone goes through in their lives. The third story is kind of conclusive more than anything. It just transitions to kind of end on a note that will leave us loving this movie because there is a song sequence in that about I don't want this girl, I don't want that girl. It was in English for me. I was reading it in English, but that whole song sequence was outstanding. It just depicts life of so many guys in India, how we are, how we deal with our friends, how we speak to our friends, how we discuss things, how we live. It is outstanding, that particular song and that sequence, absolutely, where some people in the group are married, some are not married, and how those kind of conversations take place. And it is amazing how Nivin Pauly actually understood this at the narration stage, at the script narration stage, when he heard it. Because if you actually seem to hear the synopsis or the idea of the movie, you may not be so interested as an actor because it just seems like, okay, so it's about a boy who was young, who has a crush, that doesn't work out. He goes to college, he has some fights, and then he has a crush, and that doesn't work out. And then he owns a business and probably marries a girl. This is nothing great at all. So it's amazing how it takes a very futuristic, predictable quality to actually believe in something and picturize what it might turn out to be. And to understand that in the scripting stage is what is outstanding. And Nivin Pauly deserves all the accolades for that because he has chosen an outstanding film to do and done it so well. So it's amazing, and I really, really, really like the movie. It was perfect. To me, though, this movie is not just about love or him and his three different love stories. To me, I didn't see it that way. In fact, the reason I delayed watching this movie is just because the title Premam indicates that this is going to be some love story and it's just going to be a cliche no matter how they try to depict it, and it's finally going to end in the same way. But it was not, because the love story is not the foreground but actually the background of the movie. It's just there. It's like the tying the loose ends. It's there. But the main story, if you really come to think of it, is about him and his friends and life in general. It's about how these guys sit together and talk, how friends help each other, how funny situations arise, how our school teachers are, how our college teachers are, how the people in the society around us are. If there's one thing that I need to point out that maybe is a little thing that makes me think about is that the title of the movie is Premam. It gives a wrong impression. For example, how I delayed this movie for so long because it was titled Premam, and it just sounds like some lovey-dovey romance that, with some ups and downs, and whether I want to watch it or not itself, just based on the title of the cinema. So if it could have been named better is my only thing about the movie, so that people actually know that it's not just about a love story or a love based movie. It's actually about life and reality, and about a bunch of guys and a bunch of friends and how they deal with every situation in life. If it was titled something closer to life than closer to love, then it would have been more impactful in drawing attention of audience, because naming it Premam might send a wrong impression, and that's the only small problem that I have with the movie. But otherwise, this movie is brilliant. I hope you like this movie review of Premam. Share, subscribe, comment with your thoughts, and thanks for watching. Stay tuned.